here, the Jordan Valley region, which is part of the Great Rift Valley. Like thousands or millions of years ago, some tectonic movements happened here and create like a great rift. Extends from Turkey north all the way through the Beqa Valley in Lebanon, the Sea of Galilee, the River Jordan, the Dead Sea, the Araba Valley, the Red Sea, till you get to the Lake of Victoria in Africa. The total length of this rift almost 6,000 miles. The lowest point is the Dead Sea, which is almost 1,200 feet below the Mediterranean sea level. So this region actually in Jordan or in Israel, both sides, we call it the Jordan Valley region. It's considered the greenhouse of Jordan. So they grow here all kinds of vegetables and fruits. And the problem in the area here that the rainfall less than 4 inches a year, which is not enough for any kind of agriculture or vegetation. So that's why we use the irrigation system. And Jordan during the 50s, they built like a water channel to irrigate the Jordan Valley region. This channel extends from the north part of Jordan here till the north part of the Dead Sea. Along the way today we might see some parts of this channel, and they collect the water from the eastern mountains. And today on the way back from Jarash we will see one of those big dams. Actually they built like 13 water dams to collect the rainfall water from the mountains area, and they pump this water to the Jordan Valley for irrigation. The second region in Jordan is the mountains area or the eastern mountains, and we will see and notice that most of the major cities in Jordan were built on the top of these mountains, and the total population of the country, almost 10 millions, almost 90% of the population concentrate either in the central part or the north part of Jordan. The southern part and the eastern part is almost desert. We have just few Bedouin settlements, but when we say Bedouins, they are not nomads anymore. We don't have nomadic tribes. So the mountains area was mentioned in the Bible as the King's Highway. So when we read in the Bible about the King's Highway, the book of Exodus, the King's Highway was connecting those biblical kingdoms together at that time. And in Jordan we used to have like 4 regions or 4 kingdoms. The land of Gilead in the north, where we are going today, and the kingdom of Ammon, the kingdom of Moab, and the kingdom of Edom. So the King's Highway was connecting those 3 kingdoms with the land of Moab, and the King's Highway runs from the Gulf of Aqaba all the way north till Damascus in Syria. The third region in Jordan is the Badia or the desert area, and we call it Badia, and from here we get the word Bedouin. So the Bedouins, the nomadic tribes who used to live in the arid area or the desert area, and they were traveling all the time. They don't have a fixed address or let's say a stone house, so they use the tents for living, and they are traveling from a place to another place, depends on the water and the the fertile area for their animals. In Jordan we have like 70% of the total area of Jordan is desert, most of the east part and the southern part. And the Jordanian desert, it's part of the Arab desert. We share it with Syria north, Iraq and Saudi Arabia east, and Saudi Arabia south. You will notice today that when we drive from Jarash or from the north to the south to Petra tonight, you will notice the big difference in the land. The land in the north more fertile, more green, and every time we go south it's less green and more arid, because the water or the rainfall in that region less than the north part of Jordan. We are sharing borders here with many other countries. As I told you, we have a border with Syria north and with Iraq and Saudi Arabia east, and we have Saudi Arabia and Egypt in the south. We have sea border with Egypt between Aqaba on the Gulf of Aqaba on the Red Sea, and Nuweiba in Egypt. And we have 3 borders with Israel on the western side. This is the one we used, the north border, and we have the one we gonna use the last day, Alembi, and there is another border between Aqaba and between Eilat in the southern part of Jordan. The population of Jordan, almost 10 millions. 96% of the total population, they are Sunni Muslims, and almost 4% Christians. The relationship between Christians and Muslims in Jordan is really good. It's considered like a model for the other Arab countries. Even Jordan is the only Arab country who declared that the Christian holidays are national holidays for the Muslims and for the Christians as well. So unfortunately, we have 40% of, the population of Jordan. They are non-Jordanian, because Jordan was paying the price of its stability during the years by receiving a lot of, refugees from the other neighboring countries. So that's why the population of Amman, for example, and Jordan in general, was doubled during the last couple of years. And the first problem happened in the Middle East region was the Palestinian-Israeli problem. We received a lot of Palestinian refugees during the first war and the second war with Israel in 1948 and 1967. And during the 70s, we received a lot of refugees from Lebanon during the civil war in Lebanon. During the 80s, the Iraqi-Irani war, we received a lot of Iraqis. The 90s, when Saddam occupied Kuwait, we received a lot of refugees also. They came from the Gulf countries. And lately, during the Arab Spring, we received a lot of refugees from Syria, Iraq, Libya, Yemen, many others. So this is actually a problem now in Jordan, same as it's a problem in the United States when you have a lot of, people working there illegally. Those people, they are living here and they are working illegally. They shouldn't and they cannot work according to the law here, but they are working and they get like cheaper wages than the Jordanian. That's why the unemployment rate, raised from 8% to almost 23% now, which is very high. And the people, the young generation, they start to complain too much, and sometimes they do some kind of demonstrations to make a kind of pressure on the government to let those people go and leave Jordan, because now we are sharing, everything with those refugees. And when we talk about 4 millions, we are talking about almost half of the population. The Jordan is considered one of the most educated Arab countries. Most of the let's say the teachers or the dentists, the doctors, the lawyers, the professional skilled labor force working in the other neighboring countries, they are Jordanian. So Jordan is very poor in the natural resources. We don't have gas, we don't have oil, but Jordan is rich with, the educated people, and was always the main supplier for all the other neighboring countries, especially the Gulf countries. And because Jordan was, concentrating since long time on the education. The education in Jordan is compulsory from the age of 6 till the age of 18 for 12 years for, male and females. And when they graduate from the high school, we have 23 universities here. They can, study in those universities. 9 of those universities are, public, and the rest are private. The education in the public schools completely free of charge. We don't pay anything for the education. Just the families, they pay like something like $30 for the books and for the uniform. Here we are passing now the city. It's called Pella. If you look to the left and on the right side, we have some ruins, some remains. Pella was one of the Decapolis and was the first city received the Christians of Jerusalem during the Jewish Revolution in the year 70 AD. And you know, at that time the Roman, they built like 6 cities in Jordan and 1 in Israel and 3 in the southern part of Syria. We call them the Decapolis, the 10 Roman cities. Originally they were Hellenistic cities built by the Greek originally, but later on the Roman, they enlarged those cities and became like a commercial league to control the trade in the north part of, you know, this region. Because during that time the Nabateans of Petra, they were controlling the trade in the southern part and along the Silk Road and along the frankincense route to Yemen.